Hello everyone, welcome back. I am a little not right. I am coming at you right now through the power of the pixies in your computer. Well known fact, when your computer's not working right, the pixies are angry. Now, I'm here today with a letter. More importantly, here's a little bit of context for the letter before I actually get into it. See, when I was a kid, Rare Games was the pride of my collection. Perfect Dark, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Banjo-Kazooie, these were basically permanent fixtures inside my 64. I spent so many hours of my childhood playing and replaying these games. I love Rare Games. In the past, people have called me a Rare fanboy, and to that I said, damn right. I love Rare Games. I love this shit. I am a fanboy. And I will always be a fanboy, so long as they continue to do good work. The problem is that Rare was acquired by Microsoft. And after that, instead of getting Conker's Bad Fur Day 2, Conker's Other Bad Fur Day, we ended up getting Conker Live and Reloaded, which was essentially just the first game, but gutted and swapped out for an online version. And the whole point of it was simply to push the new technology that was Xbox Live. After that happened, we didn't get a Rare game for a long time. But Rare has recently put out a new game called Sea of Thieves, and it's a game about being a pirate. A pirate game by Rare. If you had told me that when I was still in middle school, I would have creamed my jeans and not even understood what exactly happened. But let's get on with this, because there are a few complaints, or criticisms more like, that I have for this game. Dear Rare, and in a way Microsoft as well, this is an open letter in regards to Sea of Thieves, more specifically the amount of content or lack thereof, as the case may be. Don't get me wrong, I personally love the game and the sense of freedom I experience when simply sailing the sea by myself, not even attempting to do a voyage, just following the wind. But I'm a fringe case because I like sailing in general, and if this game is going to grow and succeed, which I really want it to do, there are some things you should keep in mind. For a long time, I have loathed the idea of day one patches, or any patch, believing wholeheartedly that Shigeru Miyamoto struck on something simple but profound when he said a delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is bad forever. Yes, I know that when he said that, we were still on the N64 and there was no such thing as patching a game that's already been released. I believe the principle behind the words should still be adhered to today. And I'm not so arrogant as to think I'm the only one that's thought of what I'm about to cover, or that anyone who can affect change will see this. Still, for the love I hold for Rare, I simply can't sit by and watch without at least trying. While I will always believe it's better to delay a game until it's ready rather than sell the consumer an unfinished product, the fact remains that we are in a time where you can change the game after it's released. That being said, if the game was $20 or even $30, I wouldn't feel the need to write this letter. My sense of duty in writing this is predicated on the fact the game costs $60, the same price as Metal Gear Solid 5 at release. The disparity in depth of content between Sea of Thieves and a game like Metal Gear Solid 5 at the same price is the single biggest complaint I have heard from the community, and it's one I hold myself. As it stands now, there is no character progression system, the voyages become repetitive quickly, the clothing selection is based on sets, there is no custom character creation, and the only real thing to do is grief other players. Those are the lows. Now let's take a look at how we can improve them. Progression. Progression, put simply, is getting better over time. I understand and agree with the base idea that everyone from new to experienced players should be on the same footing. So, instead of the traditional system of increasing stats, let's take a bit of inspiration from Overwatch. And no, I don't mean loot boxes. For the love of God, don't put loot boxes in the game. What I'm referring to is that on a level up, you more or less get new cosmetics. However, this isn't Overwatch. It's a game about being a pirate. So instead of simply giving out clothing pieces, let's do some more. One thing could be gold. The player worked hard and got a new level, so give them a sizable reward of gold. Next is something you've already implemented, so this would just be expanding on what you already have, and that's titles. A player can already earn titles by doing voyages for the different factions. That's good, but all it means to other players is that person grinded a bunch of the same things. You can expand on your title system in a few ways, such as giving some at certain levels, setting up a system where you earn words and can arrange them into 2 or 3 word titles of your own, or by completing special events or hidden goals. Something like Kraken Survivor if you live through a random attack, or Kraken Hunter if a voyage sent you to kill it. They could even be inspired by real-life pirates like Blackbeard or Blackbert Roberts, the 2 most successful pirates respectively. Blackbeard's would be get X gold in X time, referring to the fact that he obtained the most gold in a short amount of time, and Roberts would be get X lifetime gold as he was the pirate with the longest career and had obtained the most lifetime gold. Last is that you could add in scars. I mean, think about it. Scars to show a pirate's progression would be cool, right? Voyages. Just a bit more variety is all we need. Right now, everything kind of boils down to a fetch quest. Get the skull and bring it back, get the chest and bring it back, get these animals and bring them back. I get that's kind of the idea and gives other crews a chance to steal your stuff, and that's fine, but mix it up a bit, will you? Maybe I want to get some lost relics for the Order of Souls, or be a rum runner for the Merchant Alliance. Yeah, I know the merchants already have you do deliveries, but rum would be a reason for someone to hit you on your trip. Because honestly, who's going to bother if you only have animals on board? For the gold hoarders, you could be hired to protect an actual gold hoard. These are just some ideas to help expand the missions so they aren't so repetitive, but there are much better ones out there. Clothing and character creation. There are around 5 different sets of clothing, and each one matches with a set of weapons and ship cosmetics. Yes, we can mix and match whatever we like, but that only goes so far. When the clothing you have to pick from is designed to match with specific other clothing, mixing doesn't look quite right. A wider selection of neutral clothing would fix that right up. However, I do like the options of peg legs and hook hands. On the subject of character creation, I understand that you don't want any 2 pirates to look the same, but the random character generator leaves a lot to be desired. It took me almost 10 minutes to finally get someone I liked enough to go with. So give us some basic sliders to adjust some stuff. I may not be able to see my own character, but if you're going to throw that at me, then there's no real reason for letting us pick our own clothes. And give us more hats. The ones you have now are just sad, and there isn't even all that many. Griefers. A large presence of griefers is typically a sign of boredom, or the player base is just a bunch of douchebags. We're going to focus on the former, as there's nothing we can do about the latter. So here are some ideas I have on new things to do. 1. First is quest lines from the NPCs already handing out voyages. I was really confused and rather disappointed when I was talking to one of the NPCs and saw a dialogue option saying they looked sad and asked them what was wrong. Being a veteran gamer, I looked at that and thought, oh cool, a story quest. Sadly, it was no such thing. So that's the first thing. Give us some storylines. 2. Next is to populate the world. The sea looks beautiful, but it's awfully lonely, so how about adding some NPC ships? Having random NPC ships sailing around is good, but if you make them go from point A to point B as a cargo ship, it'd be even better. Ships loyal to the Order of Souls could carry skulls from outpost to outpost. Merchant Alliance ships could carry massive amounts of supplies and animals. Gold Hoarder ships can run treasure from an outpost to a gold hoard. Even the skeletons could get in on the action by giving them ghost ships to attack the players with. Also, they really shouldn't be the only enemy. All of this would give us something to raid other than players. 3. That leads me to my next idea. Change the organization experience levels to loyalty levels. Then it makes more sense when we unlock something from them and would introduce an interesting balance to the game. You can make the 3 organizations into rival factions and base the attitude they have towards each other on a rock, paper, scissors dynamic, meaning each faction hates one but is fine with the other. The loyalty you have with each faction can be influenced by various actions, such as raiding or sinking X ship loses loyalty with that faction but gains it with whoever hates them. Something like this could get players more invested with what faction they like the most and who they work for. That being said, players who wanted to max out loyalty with all of them could do so by working for them all and never doing anything negative to them. 4. The idea of finding a message in a bottle was brilliant, but that only makes me wonder who put them adrift to wash up on a distant shore. The answer? Castaways. Sailing along, the player spots an NPC on a random island who asks to be taken to an outpost and returned to X faction, giving the players a few options. A. Return them safely for a bit of gold and loyalty. B. Ransom them for more gold but lose loyalty. Or C. Kill them, gaining loyalty with the opposing faction. The crew could vote on the action to take and use the brig if they decide to ransom them. 5. Introduce a major overarching theme of a war between pirates and an encroaching government power. Put pirate hunters on the water with bigger ships than the galleon, so they're threatening to any lone pirate crew but easily beaten by 2. Give us the option to align with the government power and play as a privateer. Privateer players could be supplied with items and weapons by the government, but have to give the government a cut of whatever gold they earn, thus drawing loose battle lines between the players, pirates versus privateers. For this to work effectively, and this may well be an unpopular decision, but outposts should be safe zones. 6. A few miscellaneous improvements could be things like giving us the ability to knock out members of other crews and make them walk the plank. You gave us a plank in a pirate game, but no way to use it. Death should carry a penalty, such as paying a toll on the Flying Dutchman. Nothing too major, but a percentage large enough to really want to stay alive. Give us a treasure chest of our own to store our gold and bury in a place we choose, giving us a safeguard from losing too much by repeated deaths at the risk of someone stumbling upon it and taking everything we've saved. Give the Kraken a body. And at the very least, and for the love of gold, give us the ability to make and fly a Jolly Roger. It's an absolute disgrace that a game aiming to make us feel like pirates makes us fly a white flag atop the mast. I know creating and implementing these changes would be a Herculean task. I know the odds of anything I've listed making it into the game are next to 0, but I had to get this out. I'm excited for PES to come out and willing to pay for one, but I just think there are much more important things to take care of. With the game in its current state, I only see it bleeding its player base, and if too many people leave, DLCs aren't going to make you very much money. Instead, I feel your time could be better spent putting some of these suggestions into effect. I like the game, and will likely set sail when I'm stressing at the end of a long day, no matter what. But I want to see this game grow, and become extremely popular with every mother's child what calls themselves gamer. If you slogged through this open letter, I thank you. No matter who you are, your time is important, and I've taken far more than I have any right to ask for. A copy of this letter has been emailed to Rare Ltd. Sadly, I was unable to find an email for studio head Craig Duncan, head of Xbox Phil Spencer, and publicly posted on Reddit and the Sea of Thieves website, respectively. Thank you again for your time.